Hi, my name is Sophia Hamblin Wong and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Mineral Carbonation International, MCi. I'm also the Founding Director of CO2 Value Australia. If we think about what a net zero by 2050 future is going to look like, we're going to need a number of different technologies to help us get there. So we're going to need to have a portfolio of solutions across the wide range of our economy, in energy, in our built environment, in our behaviour change and in our transport. The technology that I work on is one of a portfolio of amazing solutions that will help us to get to net zero and beyond. This brick was made using CO2 from an ammonium nitrate factory in Newcastle. We take the CO2 from the factory and we bind it using a process called mineral carbonation to create all different kinds of products, including the cement brick. The economic potential of carbon capture use as an industry is extremely significant. It's been estimated to be worth around almost $6 trillion US. If companies can turn their emissions into profit right now, I think that's going to incentivize them to move way quicker than waiting for other mechanisms like a carbon price. That's going to be creating lots of jobs. Australia can be world leaders in carbon processing. We can have hubs that process the world's carbon dioxide and turn it into valuable materials that we can use here in Australia, but also that we can export to the world and really bring the world into a net zero or a negative emissions future. I've always been a lover of science, and I did physics, chemistry and biology in high school, and I always imagined that I would have a career in science. When I went to university though, I studied international business because I really wanted to explore the pathway that was close to my heart, which was corporate social responsibility and creating business models that have a high return on investment and a high social impact. You know, often I'm the only person who looks like me in boardrooms or in other spaces. So it's easy to feel inadequate or like an alien or like you don't belong, because sometimes those spaces aren't inhabited traditionally by people who look like me. But actually, I've started to turn that on its head. And at the World Economic Forum, I turned around and realized that the room was filled with older, mostly white men who were making statements about what they're going to do in 2050. And I realized that I was the only person in the room who was still going to be working in 2050. And in that time, I felt almost the opposite of imposter syndrome. I realized that it's unbelievably important to have a diversity of voice in the rooms that are making these decisions. So we need intergenerational dialogue. We need diversity in thought, in cultural background, in sex, in diversity in every way we can think of in order to make the most robust decisions for our future. What's been missing from a lot of technologies in the past is that cut-through communication technique where you can tell policymakers and the public that your technology could have this profound impact for the environment. Our team at MCi is comprised of a multidisciplinary team. So we have people that specialise in geology, in process engineering, in chemical engineering. We have commercialisation experts and IP specialists. But really crucially, we all have to practice our ability to communicate what we're trying to achieve and what the potential of our technology is. Because as we sit at our dinner tables and talk to our families, and as we speak to our colleagues, we need to bring everybody along for the ride. I'm unbelievably fortunate in that I get to work in a team working on a technology that transforms emissions into building materials and creates value for the world. I feel unbelievably powerful and full of hope in that the work that I do every day can create a difference to climate change. I know not everybody can have a career in exactly what I do, but I do think that it's important to invest your career and your time into something that lights your fire. There are a number of different tools out there, but there's one that I like called 80,000hours.org, and that's a website that says your career is on average 80,000 hours of your life. So why not be using it to achieve the maximum amount of social good that you can? And it's actually a job site for different impactful careers. And that's really helpful for people who want to do something of impact but are stuck for ideas. If you'd like to find out more about the CCU industry in Australia, I highly recommend you check out CO2 Value Australia's website, which is co2value.org.au. There's all kinds of information on there about the different technologies in Australia that can transform CO2 into value. I highly recommend you check it out. Also, Mineral Carbonation International's website is mineralcarbonation.com. You can follow our progress there. And finally, if you are interested in the circular economy, there's so much emerging every day. The biggest cities in Australia and every university is announcing circular economy projects. So check out your local city and your local university for more information.